right, welcome to Good Day Chicago in our 9 o'clock hour, everyone, on this Tuesday. Here's a look at some of the things that we have coming up for you.
Well, the official time has been set for the big game between the Rams and the Monsters of the Midway. We'll tell you when the game will kick off and also talk about some of the latest developments around the Bears getting a new stadium.
Lots of buzz on that one, yeah. And of course, you know, when you're watching the game, especially for the Cardiac Bears, you probably want to reach for, you know, something to ease your tension a little bit. But around this time of year, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of people are actually taking a break from alcohol. It's hard during the game to say, I'd like a mocktail, but maybe some certain foods you're also abstaining from. Health experts say you should also add social media to that list. And we're talking to Dr. Mike about how a break from scrolling can help your health.
Yeah, which cocktail goes well with a defibrillator? That's what I want to know. All right, it is a concert celebrating the accomplishments of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We're talking to the Chicago Sinfonietta this morning about their shows for the upcoming holiday.
Looking forward to that. Let's take a live look outside as we check in with Caitlin for a look at the forecast. This is what are we exactly looking at? What is that in the background there? Is that the lake there in the background?
What camera
I'm trying to see,
is
what
this?
angle. Yeah, I haven't seen this camera before.
I think it's looking off to the north.
It is. It's
To the
Willis
north.
camera.
Okay, all right.
Willis camera. All right. It is cloudy this morning. Luckily, we're going to have more sunshine in the forecast as we work our way through the day, calling it partly sunny. And the temperatures are going to be fantastic. Right now, we're sitting around 40 degrees, 38 to be exact. At the lakefront, 39 at O'Hare and in Gary, 40 in Morris, 41 at LaSalle. Highs today are going to be touching 50 for us in Chicago. And as mentioned, it's not going to be quite as gray as it is this morning. Now, we do have a few changes happening. I should say more than a few changes happening this week. Over the next 12 hours, temperatures are going to be dropping back down to the mid-40s by this evening. And then tonight, the clouds thicken up, and we have the chance for a touch of some light scattered snow showers throughout Chicagoland, with some heavier snow and continuous snowfall expected in northwest Indiana and southwestern Michigan. Timing this out, 3:30 in the morning tomorrow, and seeing that scattered light snow. But take a look as we round the lake from Porter County to LaPorte and Berrien County all the way through. We're heading into Thursday morning, and the snow is still coming down with that lake effect snow machine going. So how much snowfall are we going to see? Throughout most of Chicagoland, under an inch with that light snow scattered in the morning. But then as we round the lake, that's where inches are possible. 2 to 4 is showing up in Valpo by 10 a.m. on Thursday, 1 to 2 in Michigan City, 4 to 8 as we get to Benton Harbor. So we are going to see that heavier snowfall again as we round the lake, mostly for our neighbors in southwestern Michigan. And that's where we have that winter storm watch from LaPorte to Berrien County. We'll see if Porter County gets in on some sort of winter weather advisory. But 7-day forecast does show temperatures dropping tomorrow. 30, that's going to be early in the day. And then during the afternoon hours, temperatures will be closer to the low to mid 20s, 25 expected on Thursday, Friday around 35, 20 on Saturday and Sunday. For the Bears game, it's going to be cold, 18 as our high. Back to you.
Ooh, 18 for the high, but you know what? Inside, we're going to be bringing the heat.
Yes.
We hope we're bringing the heat. All right, so we know that we're going to be talking about some great stories coming up a little bit later on, but we do have a few serious ones to get through first. Several violent attacks on the CTA recently have violence interrupters doing their part to keep passengers safe.
Roseanne has the latest on their efforts, which began last night. Roseanne?
Well, this group of violence interrupters say they've received some special training on violence prevention techniques, and they did ride the CTA last night, hoping to add some extra protection for riders who may be nervous about those recent incidents. The group gathered at State and Lake at around 9 o'clock and boarded a Blue Line train to the last Chicago stop in the Austin neighborhood. This comes after the most recent violent incident, a stabbing on the Blue Line at Clark and Lake early Saturday. That killed a 37-year-old man. In October, a woman was also badly burned when she was set on fire on the Blue Line. And then early Sunday, on the Red Line, another man was stabbed after arguing on a train near the 69th Street stop. The violence interrupters say they're specially trained to de-escalate these situations, and some passengers say they welcome their intervention.
You know what, to be honest, not that safe, because I do take the train early, so and I'm a girl. So it's a little dangerous sometimes. I think that's good. I think that's great, to be honest. It'll probably give us a little peace of mind.
A little peace of mind. Good point there. They plan to ride these violence interrupters, the CTA, in the coming weeks overnight in those early morning hours when a lot of these incidents have happened at about 2 a.m. And we want to remind everybody the CTA is already under scrutiny to step up security or risk losing about $50 million in federal funding. Again, the Trump administration pushing them to do more. In the Loop, Roseanne Tejas, Fox Chicago.
The family of a missing teacher has been given news that no family wants to ever hear.
Oh, and we were really holding out hope with them. Linda Brown disappeared over a week ago. Her husband says that she was supposed to go to an acupuncture appointment on that Saturday morning following their time together on Friday, but she never showed up. She was last seen on surveillance video walking on a pedestrian bridge along the lakefront. She was a teacher with CPS, and the district will make counselors available. Her family says that she had been dealing with some mental health issues recently. Our thoughts are with them right now.
The man accused of killing an Ohio dentist and his wife is waiving extradition after he was arrested in Illinois. Michael David McKee was in Winnebago County in a courtroom yesterday. He is accused of killing his ex-wife, Monique Tepe, and her husband Spencer in their home in Columbus back on December the 30th. He was arrested in Rockford, where he is a surgeon. And Adam Beckery will be in a Cook County courtroom this morning. His wife, Caitlin Tracy, was found dead at the bottom of a South Loop high-rise stairwell in 2024. Prosecutors say that Beckery threw her down the steps. He had been serving a sentence in Michigan on unrelated domestic abuse charges. He was extradited to Chicago yesterday.
Illinois has filed suit against the Department of Homeland Security over how ICE operated during Operation Midway Blitz. The state says federal agents used dangerous and illegal tactics that would include using tear gas. The suit wants the federal court to stop agents from using tear gas and change their tactics. It says the feds are violating the 10th Amendment, which lays out what states and federal government can do. The Department of Homeland Security says the lawsuit is baseless. The president says he is imposing a 25% tariff on any country that trades with Iran. Some of those countries would include China, Russia, India, and Turkey. However, the president did not give details on how the tariff could be calculated. For example, would it be added to import taxes already in place? The president has threatened to use military force on Iran for killing protesters. So far, 646 protesters have been killed. Iran's crumbling economy triggered the protests last week.
All right, it's going to cost you a little more to go to a concert at Allstate Arena. I feel like we say it's going to cost you a little more for everything right now. Yeah. Right. The Daily Herald says the Rosemont Village Board raised the fee added to tickets to Allstate Arena and the Rosemont Theater. The extra dollar charge will take effect next month. There's also plans to raise the facility services fee in the future. It's expected to go up to $4, but that does not have a start date yet. I ordered something yesterday, and it was like $46.
Yes.
And then I got my receipt, and it was like $76. I'm like,
what?
I didn't order anything for $76.
Right.
And I look over taxes, fees. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me.
That's almost half the
price. That was crazy.
But that's
crazy.
not bad for Bears Super Bowl tickets.
I would pay the extra $30 for that. Yeah. All right. We do have an update to a story that we brought you Monday morning.
Turns out that our not-so friends from New York, the Packers, are expected to work out a deal to keep Matt LaFleur as their head coach. That is according to the latest ESPN reports. LaFleur has been the coach in Green Bay since 2019, making the playoffs in 6 of those 7 seasons. But the last 2 years in the postseason, one and done. If the deal is not reached, LaFleur would enter the final year of his contract next season, making him a lame duck coach, something that the Packers president and policy has said that he would prefer to avoid.
I want him to stay the coach just to see more love between him and our coach.
Maybe that handshake gets a little shorter, you know?
All right, let's take a look at the stats following the Bears' win over the weekend. Caleb Williams rallied the Bears to their largest postseason comeback win in franchise history, engineering a remarkable 7th comeback victory in the 4th quarter this season.
Wow.
He also set the Bears' single-game playoff passing record with 361 yards. That was only with like a 50% completion rate.
Yeah, that's true.
And he became the first Chicago quarterback since Jim Harbaugh back in 1991 to beat the Packers in back-to-back games. That stat right there.
So you're saying we haven't had a good quarterback in quite some time? Maybe just a little bit.
Maybe.
All right, and as the icing on top of that, one of the biggest playoff comebacks in Bears history, and of course against our bitter rivals.
That's what made it even better. You saw how much it meant not only to the Bears, but to the city. We've been on fire. Cassie Carlson has the latest on Ben Johnson's true feelings. I thought we got him over the weekend. They were bleeped, but true feelings about the team up north.
There's always an exception to the rule. In this case, Ben Johnson's real feelings towards the Packers while celebrating the Bears' first playoff win in 15 years to send Green Bay packing.
There's a rivalry that exists between these two teams, something that I fully recognize and I'm a part of. And yeah, I mean, I don't like that team. So George and I have talked and we're on the same page.
The players appreciate the emotions their head coach showed too.
It was definitely a turned up moment. Like, you could just see the energy in the locker room, you know what I mean? Like, everybody was like, okay, Ben got a little swag by himself, you know what I mean? But, I mean, we all put a lot into this, you know what I'm saying? And to be able to, you know, kind of just, you know, act off your true emotions and your true personality, I mean, I think that's what it was for him.
Saturday night was one for the books, which players are still trying to process.
Games like that, you're going to remember your whole career, and then even when you retire. Like, these are type games that it's going to go down in history books.
But coming off an emotional win, the Bears now have to shift their focus to the Rams.
All that stuff's really awesome, and it feels very emotional and significant, but none of that affects the next week.
They're damn good.
Ben Johnson was in Detroit for 2 seasons with Matthew Stafford, the Rams quarterback playing at an MVP level and leads the league in passing yards this season.
He's one of the more supremely talented throwers of the football I've ever been around in my life. He's outstanding. I think he's a great teammate. But what I think second to none with him is his toughness, physical toughness.
The Rams will be welcomed into Soldier Field by single-digit temperatures on Sunday, making it the coldest game they'll play in all season. Matthew Stafford has a 1-9 record in cold weather games. At Hallis Hall, Cassie Carlson, Fox Chicago Sports.
Reasons why we don't need a dome, at least for this weekend.
Home-field advantage.
Yeah, right. The Packers are done for the season, but the Bears are moving on to the divisional round, and they will face the LA Rams on Sunday.
And Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford, as Cassie was just saying, is going into this game with an injury. The 37-year-old has sprained his index finger, his key. It's on his throwing hand. It happened in their win against the Panthers on Sunday. The x-rays came back negative. Rams head coach Sean McVay says that he does not think Stafford will have to wear anything on his finger to protect the injury, and that he will be good to go for Sunday's game against the Bears. Now, Chicago won last year's meeting 28-14, with the Bears holding Stafford without a touchdown.
Hope we can do it again.
And I want them to replay the 1986 game that they smoked the Rams en route to the Super Bowl. All right, the NFL, they finalized the schedule for the divisional round in the playoffs. The Bears going to kick off their game against the Rams at 5:30 on Sunday. Now remember, the last time, as I was just mentioning, the Bears played the Rams back in 1986. They beat them 24-0. It was a smackdown. I think the Rams ended up with like 150 total yards the game. But this is, of course, when the Bears just had that defense that shut everybody down. And the Bears went on to go to the Super Bowl.
The Bears.
If you are planning on tailgating or going to a watch party for the Bears this weekend, be mindful how much you're drinking during the game.
Especially before the game. You know, people say, oh, that'll help me stay warm, right? All right, we're going to be talking to Dr. Mike about how age can impact your alcohol intake. That's straight ahead.
Oh, he could talk to all of us. Yeah. Oh, we also want to remind you that the Chicago Bears are hosting their 37th annual coat drive. It's been going on for a while here, and we still have more time to go. The Bears, along with Joel Osco, the Salvation Army, and Sureway Movers, are asking for your coat donations. Just drop them off at participating Joel Osco's now through February 16th. You can find more information online at chicagobears.com/coat drive. It's 9:14. We'll be right back.
If this is your wreck.
9:16. We have mostly cloudy skies out there right now, but we're headed for the low 50s today, a very un-January-like day. But this is a dry January for a lot of folks. But if you are still having a drink or two at Bears games or wherever you happen to be watching the games, a new study is making people sober up this morning. An expert says your age can make alcohol hit your body harder, even if your drinking habits haven't dramatically changed over the years. And the age it starts may be earlier than you think. This is going to I'm already worried about this one, Dr. Mike. He's here to tell us more. Always love talking to you, Dr. Mike. So what's the deal here? I'm 64. Can I still have a glass or two of wine or not watching the Bears game?
Yes, you can, but everything in moderation. All right, look, as we get older, our metabolism slows, our body fat content increases, and all of those things, plus our mental stamina, if you will. You have too much alcohol, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it good the next day. I can remember a patient, Big Mike, who was 82, had a little bit too much wine, got up, fell down, hit her head on the nightstand. So, look, as we age, you got to be careful. You're not 20 anymore. Now, you're in great shape, all right, Big Mike? You're going to be okay. And what I'm seeing here, now, I don't want to get into your territory, a perfect storm of fan excitement. So you don't want to be, I'm not saying go drink, but look, everything in moderation. You understand?
I do. Do you recommend maybe people beyond age 50 dial it back? Is there kind of like a magic number where we should be a little bit more concerned about that alcohol intake number?
Well, if you look at the data, we all should be concerned about it because it increases your risk of cancer and dementia. It goes on. It affects your sleep. It goes on and on and on. I mean, as the new guidelines have just come out, with the pyramid upside down, the food pyramid and alcohol, they've gotten away from the 2 drinks for men per day and 1 for women. They're kind of vague on it. You know what? Listen to my grandfather, Big Mike. Everything in moderation. I'm not telling you to drink, but if you're going to drink, drink in moderation. And if you're going to drink, make sure it's good stuff. Don't be drinking any cheap stuff.
I am all for that, Dr. Mike, and I respect your grandfather, even though I've never met the man. He sounds like my kind of guy. All right, let's talk about this one. We're talking about cutting back on alcohol. How about dialing back on social media? What kind of benefits can we glean from, maybe putting the darn phone away for a couple minutes, getting off of Facebook and TikTok and all these other apps out there?
1 week, they looked at young people. They took their phones and their pads away, their iPads. You know what? Less depression, less anxiety, less insomnia. Now, I got to tell you, Big Mike, I'm not on any of that. You know how you get a hold of me? You fax me. A fax machine. You call me, you text me, or you email me. I don't do any social media. I already get attacked every 5 seconds by everybody. So I don't want that. I don't want that stuff.
Are you still using still using a pager too? How antiquated do we go here?
No, I have a phone. I have a phone. But I mean, the bottom line is there's so many. I don't want anything to do with that. And the bottom line is that you get, people have a problem if you with everything. And I always tell people already, look, you have a problem with me getting that long line around the building. All right, you get in the back of that. But can we get back to the Bears? Let's talk about the Bears.
Sure. What have you got to say about the Bears, Dr. Mike?
My favorite, Dick Butkus and Mike Ditka. Now, remember Mike Ditka? The favorite quote, I use Blue Emu. That stuff working. It don't stink. Ugh. Tremendous.
What a pitch man.
I have nothing to do with Blue Emu.
What a pitch man.
But I remember that because he played for the Eagles, too. So he's a hero to me.
Oh, my gosh.
Mike Ditka.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
And we know that Mike Ditka going through some health issues. We hope that he's doing okay right now. But I'm glad you're old school there, bringing up Dick Butkus, one of the first Bear players that I can remember. Dr. Mike, good advice there. We're going to drink a little bit less and hopefully use that social media a little bit less. But I'm telling you, Dr. Mike, you would be viral on Facebook and Insta if you had an account there, buddy. I'd be the first to follow you.
Thank you. Love you.
All
See
right.
ya.
Good to see you, Dr. Mike. We'll be back with more of Good Day right after this.
Who's the celebrity behind the mask?
Welcome back. Time is now 9:24. Live look at the shed. We're going to be checking in with Gabriella in just a moment. But the Kane County Board will decide today whether it is time to redefine the rules for short-term rental properties like the ones you book on VRBO and Airbnb.
Yeah, board members say the vote is not meant to block what has become a common practice, but to ensure safety and to lessen the strain on wells and septic systems in unincorporated areas.
This party's going on too long, it's going too late, the street's blocked with cars, there are people coming and going at all hours of the night, just, you know, crazy things going on.
That was a portion of my interview yesterday with one of the board members on Chicago Live. He talked about, you know, the complaints that they're getting from a lot of people who bought homes, and then you're wondering what's happening in your neighbor's home. Regulations under consideration include home inspections prior to any rentals, 2 guests per bedroom with a maximum of 16 guests per property, no more than 12 rental contracts per year, and $200 licensing fees.
Supporters of the long-standing blacksmith shop in Geneva are breathing a sigh of relief this morning. The building on East State and North Bennett Street dates back to the 1840s. Recent demolition proposals include replacing it with an apartment and commercial complex, but the Geneva Historic Preservation Commission voted against the proposal. What does that mean? Developers filed to appeal the decision. Well, the Geneva City Council met in special public meeting last night, and ultimately the appeal did not get the votes it needed to reverse the initial no vote. So city officials say from here, members of the community will work on an alternative way to use that structure.
Well, the NCAA football championship is next Monday in Miami when Anthony Ponce's Indiana Hoosiers take on Miami. Ticket prices, They're definitely not cheap. The cheapest tickets on the secondary market before Friday were about $2,800. Friday evening, they soared to $3,800. Quite the penny. And now Miami's going to be playing at home.
Yeah.
In that game as well.
Do we know if has Anthony?
He said he's not. He
started coming down with something.
No, he's not. I said his dad ought to pick up the tab for that. Come on,
Yeah.
Phil.
All right, well, the Bears fight for yards on the field, but off of it, they're fighting for acres.
Ongoing saga here. There was some action off the field on Saturday that some people caught wind of in the quest for a new stadium. Political reporter Paris Schutz has more.
Look closely. This is a picture of Bears chairman George McCaskey, President Kevin Warren, and NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, just hours before the game Saturday, standing on the Arlington Heights Stadium site. The meeting was caught by Greg Berger, who was dropping his son off at the Metro station, ironically, to go to the Bears game at Soldier Field.
I'm like, whoa, that's George McCaskey. That's crazy. Then I spot Kevin Warren, and he's got the orange tie, and I'm like, that's Kevin Warren. He's always sporting the orange tie. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, my jaw totally dropped when I saw Roger Goodell. That's when I was like, what is even happening right now? This is bizarre.
Sources close to the stadium negotiations tell me Goodell also toured sites in Northwest Indiana. The lawmakers there are working on a potential tax deal to lure the team across the state line. 3 weeks ago, the Times of Northwest Indiana caught representatives of the Bears conducting site testing on the plot of land in Hammond. Sports stadium consultant Mark Gannis says he expects Indiana to roll out the red carpet.
I think what we're going to see coming from Indiana is going to be so significant in terms of public money going into the stadium.
And sources close to the Bears say they're looking to Indiana Republican Governor Mike Braun, who gives his State of the State address on Wednesday, to see if he mentions anything about a potential stadium. Braun has been publicly supportive of efforts to this point. The Bears have been stalled on Illinois legislation that they're seeking. It would give them the ability to negotiate future property tax rates with Arlington Heights, something they say they need before they can attract investors to build the stadium. They're also looking for state money to help with infrastructure, but vow to build the entire structure on their own.
This deal that's being offered in Arlington Heights is really very one-sided for the benefit of the taxpayers and very one-sided as compared to, say, the Chiefs in Kansas, the Cleveland Browns in suburban Cleveland.
We have not heard the last of this. That was Paris Schutz reporting, keeping us an eye on those developments this morning. And striking while the iron's hot, the team sent out surveys to season ticket holders asking them how they feel about a potential Northwest Indiana site, as well as seating charts for a new potential stadium and potential pricing. The Bears did not have comment on any of this, preferring to keep the focus on what's happening on the field. You know, that's kind of important right now, too. And speaking of Saturday, the Bears game against the Packers was so loud. Some say you could actually feel it.
Well, they're not imagining it. It is actually a real effect. We spoke with Kevin Butler, not the former Bears kicker, but he's an engineer with Henderson Engineers. They help design professional sports facilities. He tells us there is science behind why some stadiums are louder than others, how tall the facility is, how close the fans are, where the speakers are in the stadium, how many people are inside. Sometimes the fans can indeed impact the game.
When people see a stadium shake, should they have to worry about their safety?
There's nothing to be concerned about from a safety standpoint. Buildings are designed so that they're not completely rigid. They have some flex to help them move and dissipate vibration. So no reason to be concerned. You know, it's definitely more of something to be celebrated. It's showcasing the fans' energy and definitely makes for a memorable moment.
Yeah, and one of the loudest stadiums anywhere is where the Bears could have to play if they can advance. That's in Seattle. There have been times where the noise makes seismic activity. Beastquake back in 2011 in Seattle is one example. Another is Taylor Swift's Era Tour concert in 2023.
And if Seattle actually loses and the Bears win, Bears will play at home.
Back here.
So we'll wait and see, right? Well, check this out. Bears fans will have some new gear to sport during this playoff run. Local designer Catholic Imprint is releasing a new Pope Leo fan jersey. It's, of course, inspired by the Pope's Southside roots. All of the sales of the jerseys will go to local charities. You can order one for yourself at popejersey.com.
Can I tell you all the owner of the company's name? John Paul.
You're kidding.
I promise you, I was taken quite aback. Yeah. Show your support for our Monsters of the Midway. Submit photos wearing your best Bears gear to us. We'll be showing your pictures all morning long on Orange Friday. You can send them to the email address on your screen, gdc@fox.com.
Fox 32 News.
Several violent attacks on the CTA recently have violence interrupters stepping up to help keep passengers safe.
Oh, Roseanne has the latest on their efforts. Good morning, Roseanne.
Good morning. This group say their eyes, ears, and special training offer an extra layer of security for passengers on the CTA who may be nervous about all those recent incidents. The violence interrupters all got together last night around 9 p.m. at Staten Lake and boarded a Blue Line train to the last stop in Chicago in Austin. This comes after a deadly stabbing on the Blue Line at Clark and Lake early Saturday. A 37-year-old man died from his injuries. In October, a woman was also badly burned when she was set on fire on the Blue Line. Early Sunday, another incident on the Red Line. Another man stabbed after arguing on a train near 69th Street. Now, some riders tell us they have noticed some stepped-up security on trains.
Not getting any better with the whole security thing. There's a lot of homeless there. I mean, you know what? Actually, no, it's actually gotten a little better now that because I ride it every day. It's my commute, you know, it's how I get to work. I see a lot of security there, and they're definitely taking it a lot more serious. So, you know, I'd say I'm pretty happy.
Now, you'll remember the CTA did recently step up security. They added a number of Chicago police officers on buses and trains. The number went from 77 to 120. They also added additional canines, going from 172 to 188. However, The federal government said that's not enough. They're still demanding that the CTA take further measures to make the train safer or risk losing about $50 million in federal funding. In the Loop, Roseanne Tejas, Fox Chicago.
Thank you, Roseanne. And I can tell that it is not that cold because Roseanne's hood is not up, as it usually is when it's colder. All right, here's the deal. It is very cloudy still. You see a little glimmer of light there at the bottom of the screen, the edge of the horizon. But because of this cloud cover, temperatures they're stuck here. This is about where it was a couple of hours ago. 39 at O'Hare. It's 41 at Joliet, 37 Chicago Heights, Woodstock 38. I mean, we shouldn't be complaining. The normal high this time of year is 32. You got 39 at Gary and Merrillville. But the fact that it has remained so cloudy, it may slow the warm up. And if we miss the forecast in any direction, it might be that my number's a little too high, but it's going to be close. Compared with 9 a.m. yesterday, it is quite a bit warmer. 9 degrees warmer at O'Hare, 12 degrees warmer at Waukegan, 10 degrees warmer at Merrillville. We hit 43 yesterday, so I'm banking on about the same sort of a situation here this afternoon. And we can see some clearing taking place here from the northwest. That's why I'm still confident in going with those low 50s for a high today. I think these clouds are going to be scattering out, and they'll do so from northwest to southeast. But when you know it, there is some snow on the way. So let's lay it out for you. Some of us are going to get quite a bit. Most of us will get barely anything. During Wednesday, overnight, tomorrow, wee hours of the morning, maybe a dusting here or there. This is where the snow machine is going to get cranking. It will be lake effect, particularly LaPorte and Berrien County. However, I do think that in Porter County, especially maybe Valparaiso and Northeast, you're going to need a winter weather advisory for this with somewhere between 3 and 4 inches of snow coming down for you. Rest of Chicagoland, not an issue, but there is still snow in the forecast, even on the Illinois side. Today, 52, becoming partly sunny, breezy and mild. Southwest winds 12 to 24. Tonight, temperatures will be falling overnight. 28 degrees will be the low around daybreak. West winds at 10 to 20. Could be a brief, light snow shower. Nobody's getting much out of that. 7-day forecast. Tomorrow's high is going to be 38, might even be 40. It happens at midnight. Then we'll get that blast of colder air that'll knock temperatures in the afternoon in the 20s. Thursday's high 25, and then a system will be coming through all of Chicagoland. Occasional snow showers Thursday night, Friday, and Saturday. Maybe a couple inches here or there. That's the pattern I think we're going to be in. For the Bears game, a high of 18. Temperatures during the game, though, will be colder than that. I think with wind chills near 0 all night long. And then for the King holiday, partly sunny skies with a high temperature of 22, but right now it looks to be a dry day. Got a couple of photos to share with you. How about this? Sunset over southern Puerto Rico. Wendy Fuller giving us a look out there over the Caribbean. A gorgeous sky there. Puerto Rico, beautiful place to go. I've been there a couple of times. Launching point for cruises. A very, very lovely island there. Our second photo, Maple Park. This is right on the DeKalb and Kane County line. Roy Christopher giving us a photo there. And you can see that sky on fire as the sun was setting. And you got a little reflection here. I don't know. Roy, did you shoot that through a car window? I don't know. I'm going to call him out on that spot there. But nevertheless, it is a pretty sky. Snap the picture and enjoy that sky. Back to you both.
Okay, thank you. If there's one place I find it very hard to work from, it would be the Shedd Aquarium. I turned into a big kid, but things are going quite swimmingly over there this morning.
And soon you can stop by to enjoy the museum for free. We love free. Gabriella Primus is joining us live this morning with the details. Gabby?
I know, one of our favorite things, guys, free. You're right, this is a hard assignment this morning. And just so you know, I already have made a couple of friends. The macaw, Poblano I met, also the octopus down the way too. Yeah, we're old buddies. But also, what kind of gig would this be? Cleaning the tanks, diving into the fish tanks here. This is kind of the yin and yang spot that we're at. You know what? I have the person who's going to explain it a little bit more to us, but so beautiful and colorful. Kyle, you work with events here for the public. Yes. Today is a free day.
Yes, it is.
But first, what is this spot? I understand one's a freshwater tank, one's a saltwater tank, yes. Right?
Wonder Water is our latest exhibit that we have here at Shedd Aquarium. It really celebrates the yin and yang of the aquatic animal world. So you got the beautiful freshwater habitat here and the live coral habitat over here. It's over 28,000 gallons of water.
Wow. Today is a free day. We're seeing people already coming in because 9 o'clock is when you open your doors. But you have other ones coming up as well, don't you?
Yes, so we offer our free days to Illinois residents on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays in January and February, as well as this weekend, which we're already sold out of. So we're recommending getting those tickets ahead of time on our website.
Yes, you really have to take that seriously because it's not
Absolutely.
like just a day of, hey, you know, the shed's open for free admission. You do. It's a hot commodity. People want to come here. All right, I also want to talk about an event that you guys have that's just for adults that I think is really unique, and what a great venue for music.
Yeah, so our Heartbeat House Party is going to be celebrating on Valentine's Day. It's the latest iteration of our House Party series. It celebrates the homegrown music genre that is house music in Chicago.
Oh, I love it. What can people expect when they come? Should they get tickets ahead of time?
Yes.
How does it work?
Tickets are selling very quickly for this event. So it's from 7 to 11 on Valentine's. Folks will be able to explore the full aquarium, get to check out some chats to celebrate our shark species that are here at Shedd Aquarium, and dance to house music all night long.
That is, how long have you guys been doing that for?
We've been doing it for quite a few years, but now it's really become a staple in the event series in Chicago.
Are there any other, maybe even like kid-centric or more family-friendly events that are coming up that people should kind of keep an eye out, even if it's in the spring or early summer?
Yeah, so coming up in the summer is going to be our Jazzin', which is all ages. Jazzin' at the Shed. This is a staple. This has been going on for over 30 years at Shedd Aquarium, where we celebrate jazz music as well as the aquatic animal world.
Okay, we look over to our right and you see this beautiful family. Look at them. Do you like the fishies? Yeah, he does. Look at his face. How exciting is it to be able to welcome people in for free? Maybe it's something that they don't typically come to because it is a tourist attraction, but you're welcoming people, of course, who are from Illinois in.
Absolutely. This is our most successful program. We're happy to do it. You know, Illinois residents are able to come to Shedd Aquarium for free and celebrate the diversity of the aquatic animal world.
Because there's so many different areas in here. This is definitely not even close to it, guys. It's so fun. Yes, okay, the octopus I made friends with, as I told you, Kyle, but also the macaw, Poblano. So sweet. She's a woo girl, I've been told. We saw her party tricks and stuff. All right, guys, we'll have more information about the free days at Shedd Aquarium, plus that fun event, too, that's going on our website, fox32chicago.com. For now, I'll send it back to you. Yes, I did find Nemo, guys.
Okay, I was just saying, man. I really didn't find a Nemo.
Right.
All right. Well, coming up, the sweet sounds of the symphony will be playing here in Chicago for a very special holiday tribute.
The Chicago Sinfonietta is joining us to talk about their upcoming concerts to honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. That's ahead. It's 9:43.
It's Ashley's 4-day.
Welcome back to now 9:46. The Chicago Sinfonietta is once again redefining what a symphony can be. This year's Martin Luther King tribute concert honors a Chicago surgeon who made history. We're joined by Sidney Jackson, the president and CEO of the Chicago Sinfonietta. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I want to start with, for those who aren't familiar, what exactly is the Chicago Sinfonietta?
We were founded 38 years ago by Maestro Paul Freeman. He was a black conductor when there weren't many. And he came to Chicago, founded this great orchestra that's diverse now, looks like Chicago, and does great works that if you come to our MLK concert, you're going to find out about it.
And this year's theme is Open Heart. So what is the inspiration behind that theme?
Yeah, so we're going to honor Dr. Daniel Hale Williams, who was the first black surgeon to do an open heart surgery. He was a special and remarkable human being. You're going to hear Catherine Bostic piece, which is a suite of music of our cellist, Ed Moore, who wrote the Supreme at Earl's All You Can Eat. Best-selling author, great cellist, and then we're going to do this elegy to Breonna Taylor, which I'm so excited about. We commissioned it right after her death in 2020, and now we're going to do it again. Fitting time.
For sure, fitting. And outside of those events, you're also going to be partnering to volunteer at the Pilsen Food Pantry. Why is it so important to make that a part of the mission as well?
Well, for me, I spend a lot of time in social justice. So to me, community and music are essential. And so we are a classical arts organization who's about community. So anytime you come to our concert, we're going to involve the community. And so right now, we've got to show up in all the ways we can.
What would you say have been maybe some of the reactions from audiences who maybe don't typically check out a symphony?
Oh, what are the reactions? Yeah. Oh, well, you're going to have fun. We do it differently. It's not like any other orchestra. You're going to leave inspired. Again, we're doing things. Most orchestras aren't going to put themselves out there and do an elegy to Breonna Taylor. Most orchestras aren't going to partner with a food pantry and put themselves outside of the normal realm. So you're going to have something different and leave energized and charged.
You guys are definitely thinking outside the box. For people who are interested, do you have multiple shows this weekend?
Yes, you can go January 18th out in Naperville at Wentz Hall, or you can come right here in the city down the street at the Auditorium Theater.
And where can people get those tickets?
At ChicagoSymphonietta.org.
All right, looking forward to it. Sidney Jackson, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Brian.
All right, time is now 9:48 this morning. We'll be right back here on Good Day Chicago.
I'm John. This is a dead man's wire.
If anybody yanks on me or yanks on that gun, he'll die.
Listen, Tony, you've made your point.
I want a formal apology from Meridian Mortgage. I want financial compensation for all the money I would have had, and I want to walk out of here a free man.
Sure thing, Tony.
In 1977, an Indiana man made national headlines by attaching the president of a mortgage company to a shotgun equipped with a dead man's wire. There's a lot to this story, of course. Swept the nation, now the subject of a new movie opening in theaters this week.
I don't remember that, and I would have been in high school at the time. The movie's called Dead Man's Wire and stars actor Bill Skarsgård. You know him better for playing Pennywise the Clown in the movie It.
But this time he's playing a real man and spoke with our Jake Hamilton about the value of the now famous real footage of this incident.
This is a dead man's wire.
If anybody yanks on me or yanks on that gun, he'll die.
I'm going to be honest with you. The moment that this movie was over, I did what I think a lot of people are going to do, which is get on YouTube and find the real footage of Tony. I'd love to know, what is the most important thing you figured out about Tony simply by watching that news footage and the press conference, something that maybe you wouldn't have figured out if you didn't have that real footage of him?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, yeah, there's so much source material and archival footage of the real thing, which is a real treasure trove of things to draw on from in terms of creating a character. So doing a scene where you could like look at the real thing and how it unfolded and what he was up to and what he was doing. And it's quite bizarre. I mean, I watched the whole press conference, you know, countless of times, and it's a very bizarre thing. The whole spectacle is so bizarre, and it's kind of hard to imagine, but you have to seeing it live and going, oh, you know, when is he going to pull the trigger, kind of a thing. Because there's moments in the press conferences where it looks like he it's almost like he's saying his sort of goodbye speech, you know. It's like, okay, and then like, all right, this is the moment where he's going to pull the trigger. So it has all the recipes for being a sensational moment in network television, that's for sure. Tony Kuritz's lawyer commented on YouTube on the trailer, I think, and he had seen the film, and he said like, this is, yeah, I don't know, this sounds like tooting my own horn, but he was like, Bill captures this. I knew Tony, I represented him, and this is, you know, whatever. This is like, it feels like I'm watching Tony, and like, and I was like, can we verify this? And we did. Like, it's actually his lawyer that represented him, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. That's like sort of the best review you can ask for, I think.
How have I not seen any of that?
Right.
Like old, now makes me want to see like what happened with that.
Suspense.
All right, Dead Man's Wire comes out this Friday. And there's going to be some new security restrictions at stadiums hosting the World Cup this summer.
You knew that was coming.
Yeah, the Department of Homeland Security says it is investing $115 million into counter-drone defense measures in venues that will be hosting the FIFA World Cup. The measures are also expected to be used at events celebrating the country's 250th year anniversary. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says that investment is part of the administration's efforts to protect the country's border and interior as the use of drones continues to rise.
Well, we know who the Chicago Dogs will be in this year's Puppy Bowl. Look at them. They're so cute. They've won us over already. One tail at a time, we'll have Susie and Vernon in the 22nd annual Puppy Bowl. Happens on Super Bowl Sunday, of course. Susie and Vernon are a part of a litter rescue from Arkansas. There will be a watch party for the Puppy Bowl at Babe's Sports Bar on February 8th. So cute.
I'm going for the lab. So cute, right? Let's send it upstairs to Studio 32, where Chicago now is getting ready to kick off at 10. Hey, guys.
Brian, I hope they're out there like running routes just to make sure they're ready.
Let's go. Those babies, they're so cute. They almost look fake, don't they? Like little stuffies.
All right, so we've been calling this Bears team, they've earned the nickname the Cardiac Bears, right? So because we have the time to do this, we're actually going to dive into this with a cardiologist, and he's going to tell us exactly whether this nickname is warranted kind of on a physiological level.
I believe it.
It has not been without drama in these fourth quarter games.
So we'll see what you need to do. Maybe drink some green juice before this weekend. And then also, Anthony, you went to a very important Indiana game.
I did. Atlanta.
and one of the main stories coming up with this next game is the price, the ticket price. And we were actually looking up some of these numbers before the show, and it will have your jaw on the floor. The price for this college football playoff national championship game is through the roof.
It is absolutely through the roof. We're going to dive into that and some other trending stories on this Tuesday. And we're also going to check in with our friends at TMZ about all the latest drama from Southern California. That is all next on Chicago Now.
This program is brought to you by National.
you